Good morning, you guys. So I just wanted to share how I use Google Street to track my business. Time management and following up was one of my major weak spots, and as a result, it really affected my business in the early days. And since I started using Streak and remembering to move people from one pipeline to another pipeline, it's made a massive, massive difference. So I know a few of you have asked me already the pipelines that I use and what I call them. I will show you a dummy version of my current pipeline. It doesn't have any of the details of people in it because obviously that's confidential, but it does have all the categories that I'm currently using. Also be mindful of the fact that this is the way I work. It works best for me, and I do change things up. So if I do another tutorial in like 6 months' time, you might find that some of my pipelines have changed just because it's an ever-evolving business, and I'm constantly tweaking things to make sure that they fit best to my needs and they work best with the way that my brain works and enables me to stay on top of people. So first of all, there are a couple of things you need to do. You need to make sure that you've got a Google account, that you've got a Google Gmail account, and then you need to install Streak, and you will need Chrome in order to do that. I don't think you can install Streak on Firefox or Explorer. I'm not sure. I mean, you can Google it, but I'm pretty sure you have to have Chrome for Google Streak. So once you've done all that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you now. I'm going to give you a look at the pipeline, the titles and the things that I use. And what we'll do then, we'll build our own pipeline so I can show you how things work. And then we'll go back so you can take a note of the various pipeline headings and things that I use. And by that stage, hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense to you. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so this is the pipeline that I use at the moment. First contact is obviously when I've said hello to somebody and we're just chatting. And then I use a sort of like a 3-week process, make sure that I connect with them on week 1, week 2, and week 3. Some people you gel with straight away. And so you might sort of, oh, sorry, I'm getting messages coming in. You might, you might want to miss out connect week 2 and week 3 because you've already said, you would be amazing as a coach, and they've said, yeah, I'd love to, why didn't you ask me sooner? And so you put them straight into the interest and form pipeline. So, these are suggestions, nothing is set in stone. Sometimes you might get to the end of connect week 3 and you just think, this is going nowhere, and it might be that that person isn't right for either your bootcamp or your coaching opportunity. So, but what I would say, if you come across those sorts of people, or you come across somebody who you've either invited to the bootcamp or to the coaching opportunity and they go, no way, not interested, put them in your holding group. So I always have a holding category here. You can call it not right now, you can call it not interested, whatever you want. But the amount of people that have said no to me in the beginning, and then they've come back a few months later and they said, actually, I am really interested. So because by that stage, I've got their name, I've probably got their Instagram handle, maybe their Facebook ID, possibly their email address. I might have taken some notes on them already. So I've got a lot of information there already. I might even have got their goals and their struggles. So it's much easier for me to plug straight back in and find out where they're at and help them the best way possible. So don't delete people unless they really, there's absolutely no way in hell. However, even those people, I would say, for the sake of it, keep in your holding category. So, yeah, life's funny. People come back round, and some people don't like being approached, and you might have offended them, but then they've watched you and realised actually you're a lot nicer than they thought you were, and they're interested. So don't get rid of people. So with that, I will come back to this so that you can have a good look at the various things the pipelines that I have created. But first of all, I want to show you how to create your own pipeline. Excuse me, I'm getting dry throat. Have a slug of water. So first of all, I've got several different pipelines. This is my sort of initial contacting pipeline. And once people have moved through to becoming either a challenger or they've moved through to becoming a coach, I put them then into a different pipeline because there are different aspects of that are important. So, I need to know what challenge group they've joined up in. I keep more of a sort of a personal record on how they're managing the struggles they're having, the flavor of Shakeology they're drinking. If it's a coach, then I take them through the pipeline as to, have they had their getting started right call? Have they finished Coach University? Are they attending the team calls? You know, and those sorts of things. So it becomes more specific. So I do have separate pipelines for them too. But this is the major one that I start off with. The good thing about Streak too, just before we sort of get into the nitty gritty, is the fact you can link. So when you send an email to somebody, you can attach it to a box, and a box is basically, when you connect with somebody, the box contains all their information, and so your emails never ever get lost, providing you remember to link them to the box. You can also create email templates, which are called snippets. So rather than having to retype the whole email every single time, or copy paste from somebody's previous email across to another email, you can create templates, and then you can just adjust them slightly as time goes on. You know, whether it might just be changing the start date of your next boot camp and a few of the details and maybe the title of your boot camp, etc. So I'll show you that as well, because to be quite honest, I'm now trying to get everybody into email, because I was wasting so much time trying to find people on Facebook and trying to get them from, you know, do I talk to them on Instagram? Did I leave them a message on Facebook? Did I email them? And if I know that I'm communicating primarily by email, it makes it so much easier, because I'm not wasting those minutes thinking, how did I last chat to somebody? Also, by the time you've got their email, it's pretty much shown that they're interested in what you've got to offer. So the other benefit with that is, if Facebook suddenly vanishes, or Instagram collapses, or your account gets blocked or deleted, or, you know, catastrophes do happen, if you've got their email address, you have a means of getting back in touch with them. So just bear that in mind as well. So right, what we're going to do now, we're going to set up our first pipeline. So here we go. You see here, when you've installed Streak, you will get a little drop-down menu of several different options. It won't look quite the same as mine does, but it'll be essentially the basics when you first install Streak. So come to pipelines, click plus, and go to sales deals. Haven't really looked at the other pipelines, but this one works well. Shared or private, I'm going to click private for today, but if you've got like a virtual assistant, or several of your team use the same pipeline, then you'd click shared, and because it's linked to your email accounts, they will automatically pop up when you add them in via email. Okay. Also remember, if there's anything that I don't explain extremely well today, or if there are questions that you still have, the Streak support is superb. What you can do, I'll just move myself out of the way. If you go down, if you can click there on the sort of drop down the street and just get help, and it comes up with a search bar, and actually the answers are really, really helpful. So you know, just type your question there, and it will come up with a pretty good answer. And if you still get stuck, either contact me or contact your upline. A lot of coaches are using Streak now, so we've all got our own sort of blueprint. This is a brand new pipeline. Now these are called stages. Sorry, I'm going brain dead. These are the stages, and when you add somebody into one of these stages, it creates a little box. So we're going to change a lot of these names, because they are not relevant to us, because they are sales based, and we're not doing that. So what I'm going to start with, first of all, you can either click that, and you can change the name of the pipeline there, double click it, and I'm going to do made friends. Keep it simple, okay? Right, now that will, and then, oh, here you go, I'm going to do all these as well. So, and then connected 1, and connected 2. You'll see once I've pressed apply, all of these names up here will change to the ones that I'm writing here. Connected 3, and then after week 3, I would form or interest them. And then I might say sent challenge pack links, for instance, or sent coaching op info. Okay, I would obviously add more to them than those, but I just want to show you the essentials at the moment. So you'd click apply, and then all those changes straight across onto here. Yay! Look at that. That looks better, doesn't it? The other way you can do it is you can just double click that, and it's annoying me it's all lowercase because it looks messy. I know I'm anal. Right, that looks better. So now, made friend. So I'm going to pretend I've made a friend today. So I'm going to click that box so it highlights it. You can see it's got a little blue surround, and I'm going to go to the plus sign here, and I'm going to click box there. That opens up a drop down line here, if you can see that. Now I'm going to put her name in as Betty Boop, because I think Betty Boop would make a good friend. And this column here, stage, will stay. And you'll see that move. This will change as I send her through the pipelines. But let's just do a few more details first. So you could then, we don't want deal size, we don't want close date, so we're going to get rid of a lot of these, and we're going to add our own. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to right click on that, delete that column. Yep. And delete that column, so we don't want any of these. Yep. Delete that column, and I'm going to show you how to add columns with the right kind of specifics for each column to make your life easy. Coach contacts, and we'll get rid of that one. Don't want that one either. Notes, we do want. Notes are really important. Assign to is important if you've got a VA, or you obviously your team help you. But right now it's just me, so I'm there. And date of last email is a very good one. I'm going to add a date first connected as well, because it's just interesting to know how long you've been talking to them. So I'm going to just, so I basically click that plus, and all I want is a date box. I'm going to click date, okay? And I'm going to, but you'll need to title that date first connected, okay? Click enter. I'm going to add another box here. What can I show you? Checkbox is either a yes or a no, basically. It's a positive or a negative answer, so it can either be one or the other. So invited to coaching op, for instance. Okay, so it gives me this box here. So it's either checked yes or no. Okay, only two options for that one. For the next one, I will show you, should we do drop down? I'm not entirely sure what you would use drop down for. Let me have a think. Not interest, because that's tags. I don't know. Social media. Let's try, see if I can, that might be tags as well. Let me just have a little look. So if I want to add, so I would have to type in here something, type to create a new option. So maybe say Facebook. So I'm going to create Facebook. Click that, okay? And then I want to also say Instagram. Okay. No, okay, so it's either it's a bit like the checkbox. It's either a yes or a no. So it's a one answer option, this one. I'm not entirely sure why I'd use it, so maybe you don't want to use that one. But at least I've shown you, there are things you can do with it, I'm sure. Tag is one I use a lot, okay? So tag, so for instance, right, let's do social media one, because I've already got the social media box and I know it won't let me make two. So I want to say I've got them on Facebook, so I create a Facebook option. I also want to say I've got them on Instagram, because some people are on Facebook, some people are on Instagram. Okay, and I'd leave it at that maybe. For instance, I would also use the tag of a past interest. So here we go. I would click maybe, I've got to create a new option. Maybe they were in the free water challenge. That's one. Okay, create free water challenge. If they were also interested in something else, I'll type a new one. So they might have been interested in our new Sean T program. Sean T program. Click that. Oops. Create that. So now I've got those as options. And when I bring in Betty Boop's friend, these options will already be here, so I can just click them. So for instance, she might also have been interested in our nutrition mindset program. Okay, so create that. Okay, the reason you want to click these, have these past interests there, is because oops, the page is going funny. Is because when you do mail merges, you want to be able to easily pick people who've shown an interest in something specific. So, you know, if they were interested in the free water challenge, they might be interested in a clean eating group or clean week, because that's kind of healthy and cleanish. And, you know, that you might want to invite people that were interested in a free group in a free workout, for instance. If they were interested in the new Sean T program, you know, they're probably going to like short workouts, a bit more cardio-based workouts. So if there's a new cardio-based short workout that comes out, you probably want to, if they've not already joined your challenge group, you probably want to send an email to those people to let them know that a new program is coming out. So it's really important to have an idea of what people were interested in the past, just because it makes mail merging and connecting with them a lot easier for the future. So we won't worry too much about that. Scoot back over here. I would put the date first. I'd put notes, I'd move notes. So let's move that across to here. You want it to be fairly easy to find, but you don't want it right here. Date of last email, date first connected. Okay, date to next connection date, follow-up date. So I'm going to put date in again, and I'm going to put next follow-up date. And then I'm going to drag that right the way down here, because that's important, because then I know when I need to be talking to them. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense right at the moment. So now I'm just going to show you. So we're going to, if we click this box, that's going to take us into Betty Boop's information. Okay, so in fact, contacts and organizations I could have got rid of as well. But so the stage she's currently at is in Made Friends. So everything we've just added, all those columns, let's just go back. All of these that we've just added here are also represented in here. Okay, so date first connected, let's put the date today. Next follow-up date, let's change that to maybe the 24th of January, because if I've invited her to a challenge group or a boot camp, I don't want to leave it too long before I'm following up with her. Type note, so this is really important. So always put the date when you're first connecting with them, okay? So put the date, and then you say, she's a mama of 2 fur babies, needs to lose 20 pounds, because hopefully by now you've found out what her goals are. If not, you will find that out when you get her into the form process. But she may have already told you she needs to lose some weight. Really like her vibe. Pass invite to coaching. Coaching op, question mark. Okay. And that's pretty much what you would need to do there. So once you have, let's move back into the pipeline. So come back up here, sales deals. Now, once you've sort of been chatting to her and she's chatted back to you, you've made that connection. So it's not just a, hey, how are you doing? It's oh, but she's replied back to you, you're friends, and now you're talking. So this is like connected week 1. So I'm going to double click on made friends, and I'm going to move her into connected week 1, because we've kind of made that connection. In week 2 and week 3, if we're just talking and it's not come round to a natural invite, then I will move her from connected 1 into connected 2 and connected 2 into connected 3. And all the time when I'm talking to her, I'm adjusting these dates. So date of last email, date of last contact. I double click that. Come on, I should go into date. Doesn't want to go into date for some reason. Don't worry about that. You can make another date column, like we just did. Next follow-up date, you can make your own date of last email if that one doesn't want to play game. I'm not sure why that doesn't want to play game. So, and then you'd make a note of when you last spoke as well. So it gives you a really good idea. Days in stage, actually, that's something I want to show you, is before we hop back into my pipeline. Here you go. We're going to add a magic column. Right, this is a magic column, and you want to drag it across and then go down here, and there is an option called days in stage. Click that, and we're going to bring that way over here, because this is really important. This updates automatically. So we've added her today. I'm going to put that next to stage. So it says that she's got 0 days in the stage, but if, you know, in a week's time, when we've moved her from, say she goes back to connected 1, right? In maybe 4 days time, we've connected again. Either she's contacted me because she's decided, she's watched what I'm doing, she's interested in that boot camp I'm starting. So that the days in stage, this in connected 1, that will have a number 4 in it if she's been in that stage for 4 days. And then I might move her then to form an interest, because if she's said that she wants to learn more about the boot camp, I'm going to send her my application form. So now that days in stage again will go back to 0 because she's in a new stage. So I hope that makes sense. But it's a really good way of keeping on top of where your people are at. If they've been sat in the stage for too long, you need to follow up with them and either move them to holding if they're not interested yet, or you want to be reconnecting with them to see if you can push them further through the pipeline. So I think that's pretty much shown you what to do here. So we're going to go back to my test pipeline now, which will give you an idea of all the pipeline titles and things that I use. So if we go back to here, okay, I'll move myself out of the way again. There's Betty Davis. There's one I was practicing with earlier. So, okay, she's got, you can see from her, for instance, if I added her on the 23rd of April, there's, I've added a few bits here of the various programs that she might have used, that she might have been interested in. So let's go back to that pipeline, and this is, oops, sorry, my phone's going. Decline that for the moment. Right, let me find where I've put my, there we go, test group. So here we are. These are the columns that I'm using. Forget that one I just showed you, because that is an older version of one I was using, and it's much more complicated than this one. I've kind of pruned it. When I first made my streak, I had like boxes and pipelines and columns for this, that, I mean, literally everything. You don't need it. It gets overwhelming. Keep it simple as you can do, and just make it work for you. So you'll see I have first contact, and then connect week 1, connect week 2, connect week 3. Of course, that can change depending on how you vibe with somebody. As soon as they are showing an interest for either the boot camp or the coaching opportunity, I will send them my application form, which is a type form. I love type form. They're really easy to use. If you want to get an idea of the type forms that I use, if you go to the Linktree link in my Instagram profile, that goes through to all of my various forms that I've currently got in circulation. So at least it gives you an idea of the sorts of things, the sorts of questions that I ask. And then if I've invited them to a free group, if I've invited them to the boot camp, if I've invited them to coach, and then, or are they interested in the nutrition mindset program, then once, I mean, for instance, if they become a challenger and they've joined my boot camp, I then move them into my challengers pipeline. If I've invited them to coach and they sounding interested, I move them to my coach prospects pipeline. And if they join as a coach, then I move them into my coach pipeline, which has my, a box for have they had their getting started right call, have they started Coach University, have they finished Coach University, what are their goals, have they reached Emerald yet, how are they on the roadmap to be hitting Diamond, have I plugged them into any specific leadership trainings. So those are slightly different and a little bit more refined than this. But I think once you get used to working with Streak and remembering to move people through your pipelines, which is what I was chronically bad at to begin with, I ended up with masses of people like in the first contact section. And of course, some of those had even I was going to sign them up as challengers. So I was really bad at moving them from pipeline to pipeline. So make sure when you start to use Streak, that's what you do, because essentially that's the beauty of it. That is the pipelines which make it easy. And I'd made this, I'd set it all up and I was really pleased with myself. And then I forgot, in my sort of rush to chat to people, I forgot to move people from one pipeline to the next. So do be aware of that. Now, there is something I want to show you here about how to do mail merge and how to use your snippets. So if I do, I'm just trying to think, I think I'm going to have to pretend I'm going to add myself as a box, see if it'll let me do that. So if I put Kate Hartley, stage, date doesn't matter, well, here you go. Let's go into the box format rather than across there. So next follow-up date, 22nd, because I'm going to email me today. I'm going to put my date of my last email was today. Goals, I want to lose 2 pounds, reduce the wine I drink every night, get better sleep, work more productively. Okay, those are my goals, for instance. My Facebook page, I don't know, what is it, Kate Hartley UK, and my IG handle. But I don't write it like this. I would actually go to my Facebook page and click copy and paste the URL as I would do with my IG handle, but I'll just write those down right now. Social platform, I'm on both Facebook, IG, and Insta Story. The reason I do this social platform is because it's how they connected with me, because a lot of people now I'm connecting with via Instagram story, and so it just gives me an eye. If I need to hunt for something, then I know where to start looking, so it just helps. A date connected, say it was the 14th of January, just to give it a different one. Interest, I'm interested in T20, I'm interested in my boot camp because my boot camps are amazing. I'm also interested in the coaching opportunity because I want time and financial freedom. And the list goes on. I've got all sorts of different things here. So I'm interested in Shakeology because I love Shakeology. And you can add to these. So if I wanted to add another one to this list of things, I would just literally click I'd type here, and then I'd click the plus button there, and it would add that on. Okay, so that's that. Do I drink Shakeology? Yep, I'm an HD because I have it every month. Past programs. If I really wanted to get fussy, I could click loads of these, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, as a client, as a new customer, it would be interesting to know what they have already done, because it's just helps you paint the picture of that individual person. So notes, she's nuts, but I quite like her. Okay, so that would be me there. Right, so now I'm going to add another one. Oh, I haven't added my email address yet. Date of email address, here we go. So that is, I'll do kate@theKateHartley.com. That's one of them. Okay, just minimize that a little. So now I'm going to pretend there's another person here. So first contact, I'm going to add box again, and that's going to give me another one. So Kate Harters, which used to be my nickname. So again, I'm not going to fill in all these, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to use another email address. And then at least that will show you then how to do a mail merge, okay? So what I want to do, when you're going to do a mail merge, you need to check the boxes that you want to include in the mail merge. So you need more than one box, really. And then you're going to click this little button up here, Start Mail Merge, okay? And then all you're going to do is fetching email from 2 boxes. So I have already set up my signature, okay? So it's just a picture of me, and let's just expand that. And then I've got my various qualification letters after my name, and then I've got my links to my business pages and my various social media accounts. It just makes it easy for people to find you. If they need to get help, or if you want people to follow you, then it's a really good way to do like a soft promotion. And it's, it helps them stay on top of where you're at as well. So now I would put dear Kate, right. Now this is where the magic happens. This little box down here, this is the yellow box, has got oodles and oodles and oodles of email templates in it. And again, they are something that I refine regularly, but the ones I'm using at the moment are working pretty well. So you would click that yellow box, right? And this gives you all sorts of email templates that I have created. Yes, there are quite a lot of them. I do know what most of them mean. So if I, just to make it quick, I'll do search bootcamp, right, okay. And that gives me all the bootcamp emails. So that's the bootcamp message with dance links included. My first email with no application form, my bootcamp information after I've got the form back. And I normally do best because I need to go through and edit them. That's the one I'm using at the moment. Bootcamp save a spot, that's like a last call bootcamp message. So for instance, let me see, with that, so bootcamp message with application form. So dear Kate, happy new year to you. I see I need to edit that as well. And then this basically is, this is one of the emails that I would send. And it's also got a link to my bootcamp application form, and that's it. I would send that. What I would do first though is make sure you see here, see list, just make sure that click on see list and make sure that you've not got any conflicts or errors, because if you're doing a large mail merge, as you'll find that as time goes on, you might have more than one email address for one of your customers, or you may have typed in one email address wrong and it still picks it up, okay? So it'll give you an error message if there is an error, but it just gives you opportunity to, get rid of the errors first of all. And if you want to get rid of one, you just click remove, okay? Can click that box and it will give you, this is what it looks like. So it's from me to me and my email address, okay? So just get rid of that. And then when you send a mail merge, you can't attach it to a box individually. So what I would do, so if I say send that now, that's gone, right? Okay. So what I would do, and here you go, it's just telling me, oops, telling me that those emails have sent, okay? Normally, if I was going to send an email, I would always write in here on the date I've sent it, send email, invite to bootcamp, for instance. Yeah, keep it simple so that I know that has gone, and then I would readjust my dates up here if I needed to. When you send a single email, so like if I compose one now to kate@thekatehartley.com, and say if I just used another snippet, for instance, coaching opportunity information number 2, this is one I don't really use very often unless somebody wants loads and loads and loads of information. But then what I can do is, you can see this box here, the dark box. It means I've not attached this email yet to my box in the pipeline. So Kate Hartley's box, pretending it's not me, okay? So now what I would do is, I can see me there. I'm in the test group, so I know it's the right pipeline. And this confirms that, I'm on the first contact, it is me. So I would click that. And you can see now that box has turned yellow, and it means that email now is attached to my profile. So if I click send, so that will come back to me. And you can see now so if I go back to the test group pipeline, and if I go back to that box here, you can see that email was sent, okay? It just makes it really, really easy to, I've obviously sent myself something else previously. 2 months, that was 2 minutes ago. That must have been the previous one. Okay, yeah, that has shown up for some reason. I don't understand. Normally that doesn't. Maybe in the last update, it might be that since the last update, it automatically attaches. So then you just need to go through and make your note here that you've sent the email, because otherwise when you go back through your details and your information, you won't know that you've sent it unless you go through your emails, which is a waste of time. So always make your notes here, whatever your last conversation was and the date that you had it, so you can stay on top of that. And so, yeah, and then to create snippets. So for instance, if you want to create a brand new snippet, what you do is you go to compose, and then you just type, hey, name, thanks so much for dudley 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 da, la 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 la. Right, okay, and then pretend that's a really informative email. I'm not going to waste your time by making you watch me type it out, because that always really annoys me when people do that. You're going to go to this little yellow box, and you're going to add plus make this draft a snippet. Okay, so click that, and now you're giving it a name. So snippet name required. I'm going to call it gobbledygook, so I know where I can go and then delete it afterwards, and then you create it. And from now on, you've got that little snippet in your snippets box, okay? So this is my managing snippets area. To get to this, because that just popped up automatically, if you want to manage your snippets and edit some or delete them, like I would probably delete the gobbledygook one, you click your snippets, you'll go into manage snippets, and that brings you up this same box here. And I want to look for gobbledygook. Oops, gobbledygook. I'm going to hover over that, and I can see here, and I'm going to delete it. If I wanted to edit it, hang on, let's see. If I wanted to edit it, I'd click the crayon. If I wanted to insert a variable into the email, then I would use that. Okay, but I'm just going to get rid of it. Yep, bye-bye, gobbledygook. Is there anything else that I can show you that is vitally important that's going to revolutionize your business while I'm on this? Let me go back here and let me just have a little look. And then the mail merge, it tells you that 2 were sent successfully. If any failed, it will show up here. Sometimes you might get an email pinged back from the server, which will show up in your inbox later. It's quite annoying, but it just means that for some reason that email was not delivered successfully. So then it might be that you've got the email address typed in wrong. So just go back and check that. I knew there was something else I wanted to show you. Okay, let's get another snippet. So let's just do, grab one. 2B mindset success. Also, because my snippet was saved in my signature, it means my signature comes up twice. So if you do the same, if you're saving a snippet, try and remember to save it without your signature. Otherwise, each time you send an email, you've got to delete your second signature that appears as well. I hope that makes sense. As you start to use it, I think it will become clearer. If I wanted to do a mail merge with lots of different people, what I would do is, I actually didn't need to do that. I'll just minimize that. I would choose both Kates again, and I would start my mail merge. And this time, I want to insert a variable. Now this gets a little bit more tricky, but it's pretty simple, okay? So I want to send, let me put the email there first. So I need a snippet. There we go. Are you going to be one of the 10 ladies? Oh, that was a recent one I think I did. So let's make that a bit bigger so you can see it a bit more easily. So you can check the list. Who's it going to? Now you see, now we've got an error box, multiple boxes. So I'm in that box, as well as, it basically means that my Beachbody email, which is this one, uk@gmail.com, has popped up as a second email option in my other 2 emails. So let's get rid of that, and then we won't have any errors. Now, insert variable, I am going to type given name. Now, this is showing me 2 errors as well, which is good because it means I can fix it. So suggested fix is that, or suggested fix. So that one's fine. Suggested fix is given as Kate. I actually don't want to have Kate Hartley 2001. So I'm going to just highlight that, and I'm just going to click Kate, which doesn't work. Okay, I know why. So I'm going to delete that one. And I'm actually going to, let's see what it says, fix all. Default value for given name. Oh, because I've just deleted my last one. There is a way around this. And the way around this is a little bit frustrating, but it's one worth remembering. When you set up your pipeline, okay, right, you can see I have got 1 box for name, okay? Now, as you can see, when I used insert variable, one of them worked fine. It just said Kate, and the other one said Kate Hartley 2001, which is just naff, okay? And it's obvious it's been kind of automatically generated. So the way to overcome that is, instead of having a name category column, have name and first name. So I'd add a column here, and I'd move first name in front of name. So I'd have Kate in one column and Hartley in the other column. And then when you insert your variable, it will give you that option of first name. And that is the easiest way to overcome that. Of course, if you're doing a large mail merge, it's nice to have their first name. The way I've set up my streak, I didn't do that. I used name like it is. And I wish somebody had told me about it, because when you're doing a mail merge, sometimes it works and sometimes the first name gets picked automatically and sometimes it doesn't. So more often than not, I start my emails with "Hey friends" or something like that. However, if I ever create a new streak pipeline, I will add a first name option too, because it just would then be a lot easier to make sure that when I do those mail merges, everybody gets their first name. So that's up to you. That's your call. Hopefully by me mentioning that to you will remind you to do that and make that a better process for you. Because I've got so many people in my streak now, it might be something I start to implement, but it's a tricky one because my streak is huge. And in fact, if I just show you quickly, this is my big pipeline. I think I've reduced everybody enough. So I've got quite a few people in here, and there's a lot of people that I still need to follow up with that I haven't got email addresses for. So I've got to do the legwork and go into their Facebooks and all that beautiful stuff, which is kind of annoying because it takes a lot longer to send individual messages through Facebook and Instagram, but that's the way it is. That's my bad. Again, I'm still correcting my process from the earlier months. So hopefully this will help prevent you making the same mistakes as I did and will help you refine the process. So I think that's about it. What I would suggest is don't try and put the contacts that you've already made into Streak, but when you start making new contacts today, or from watching this streak onwards, start to add them into your streak. I only add people into Streak that have replied back to me. So I am not listing everybody that I've followed newly or anything like that, because a lot of those won't follow me back. It's just wasted time to add everybody in. I do write names on the notepad just so it keeps me accountable, so I know how many people I'm contacting on a daily basis. But until they actually reply back to me with an interest, or I've invited them and they say yes, they don't go into Streak. So again, that's something I did start doing in the early days. Everybody went into Streak and it was just like, and I mean, it was just a nightmare. The pipeline I just showed you is only one of my pipelines. I've got an even bigger one, which is one of the pipelines I started off with, and that's fairly hectic in there, but I'm working my way through it. So this will hopefully help you set it up reasonably easily. If you've got any questions, then either leave me, send me a message, or ask your upline. If you've got an upline coach that is not me, and if you're from a different team, please reach out to your team first. Otherwise, get back in touch and I'll try and help as best I can. Actually, if there's several questions that come up and it's the same question, I will do another tutorial too and add to this, because I appreciate it's a fairly, it can be a little bit confusing. So I hope the way I've gone through it helps to clarify a few things and helps to show you how you can set up your own pipelines, do mail merges, create snippets and save snippets, and save yourself a whole lot of time in the process. So with that, let me stop sharing my screen. There we go. Ta-da! It's all done. I hope you enjoy it. This is the free version that I use. The paid version does have a few more bells and whistles, such as you can schedule, on the free version, you can schedule 5 tasks at a time. So if you know you need to follow up with somebody by a certain date, you can actually put a reminder to follow up. However, if you're using the pipelines in the way that I've kind of set mine up, you don't need to do that, because all those people that you shift through each pipeline, you automatically, as you'll be checking into your streak every day. So you'll be seeing, who's at what stage, and you'll be contacting them appropriately within those stages. But if you do need those follow-up reminders, then there is the premium app or premium version of Streak, and I know that is one of the swanky things that they do. I've never looked at any more of the features because, to be quite honest, the free version works really, really well for me. So I hope that's helpful for you, and yeah, get working, get busy, get building those businesses, guys and gals. Yeah, leave me a comment if you need any further help, and I will help you as much as I possibly can do. If you are interested to join our team, we are Team Heart Health Hustle. We are part of the currently #2 team of the entire network. We've recently been knocked off the top position, but I think that's a pretty good position to be in too. So yeah, reach out to me if you are interested to learn more about the coaching opportunity, or if you're interested to learn more about the various boot camps that we run. Be more than happy to chat to you more about it. Have a great day, everybody. Make it count, and go forth and be wonderful. Catch you soon.